Joe, Saturday, mate, 4 games of footy on one day. I know what I was doing on Saturday, and it was stuck on the couch. I mean, like I did exercise and other stuff, ate food, whatever, but yeah, fantastic day of footy. How was your Saturday?
My Saturday, I was tossing and turning. I was watching one Macedonian tear up the MCG and listening to you go absolutely bananas, ape shit crazy. Maybe as crazy as I was going with Setterfield on Sunday, but you were going crazy on with Nick Dacos. So yes, I'm sure you had an amazing Saturday. My Saturday was, I wish I had him. I can't wait for this round to end so I can get freaking Nick Dacos in. But other than that, it was not a bad weekend. It was not a bad Saturday.
Yeah. That Collingwood Port game was the best one out of like the week. After that, it all went downhill. There were some real stinkers. We'll talk about them today. But boy, oh boy, it was shocking.
Yeah, look, we won't waste everybody's time. We'll just go straight into it, and we'll make you happy. We'll keep you happy because the Collingwood versus Port game is the first game that we're going to be talking about. You know what I mean? So we'll start with some good news before coming to the bet, right? So we'll start, mate. Tell us about him. Tell us about this Macedonian freaking nature.
Well, it was funny because Hinkley came into the game saying, "Yep, all week during the week, Nick Dacos did really well. Last week, I think he scored like a 135 or something." Came into this round 2 saying, Hinkley was like, "Yeah, we've got to give him attention." Then it turned into, if Dacos wants to be a defender, then he has to learn how to defend, blah, blah, blah. During the game, fucking bloody Lockie Jones did nothing. First 2 minutes of the game, he was on Dacos like a bad smell. And then Dacos got the deodorant and ran away. So, you know, it is what it is. Dacos came out, obviously big 149, continued on with the big scoring. I was happy. He came in my team. Darcy Cameron as well, 137, continuing on as kind of that F1 R1 form. So if you had started him in either position, you'd be very happy. Tom Mitchell, I think, another 100-plus score. Do you want to just search by Supercoach, Joe?
Oh, apologies. I don't know why I did that.
Tom Mitchell, another 100-plus score. I think last week he scored a 110. So for him to come out and do a 122, that's fantastic. Pendlebury, 120. Taylor Adams, 110. John Noble, 107. Like, come on. Jamie Elliott, 103. And then Jack Crisp, the burn man from last year, another 100-plus score. You just look at it. These type of games, obviously the stat line says a certain thing. But I look at the Supercoach scores too. They had, 8 or 9 players on 100-plus. Port had 1. Tells you a lot about the game. How did Port go, Joe?
Port did shit. With a bit more shitness in there. And then for good measure, they threw in some more shit. Lockie Jones, when we're going to put attention into this guy, and then the guy giving him the attention is all the way down here. I think we know who won that matchup. He absolutely sputtered it up. I love it. The potato symbol and Lockie Jones absolutely sputtered it up. Couldn't do anything. 5 touches. To Dacos' 32.
It's not much.
Like I faded Dacos because I'm like, Port Adelaide historically good against halfbacks. They're gonna put some attention into him. The attention is all of us. We put more attention into Dacos than freaking Port Adelaide than Lockie Jones did. That was terrible. And really, Horn Francis just absolutely baited everyone that jumped on him after one game. We did say you got to give it another week. The stars aligned. He was on 30-odd points at halftime last week. Take it easy. Don't go into him. Bam. He gave away 6 free kicks. That is the sort of Horn Francis that is prone to happening. The Horn Francises that will blow up in their face, implode, and not give that effort 100% of the game. He doesn't have the fitness, unfortunately. So he was a nice set. Yikes.
It was pretty funny. At one point, Horn Francis had 4 kicks and 4 frees against. So that was pretty fun to watch as a non-owner.
Exactly. Nice set, bro. This guy is got to be one of the worst ruckmen in the entire competition. I'm not going to say the worst. He's one of the worst. He is poo-poo, not a good. Don't select him. Who else is there? Fantasia, he tried. But these forwards, I mean, Charlie Dixon's their best player, far and away.
Rosie was all right, but you
Rosie
want
was okay.
10 points more than
Copped an accidental McCreary head to the knee
Yeah.
to the head in second quarter. So for him to still score 92 after copping a knee to the head from Bo McCreary, who is an absolute animal, that a 92 is actually a good result. I'm very happy with Rosie. He 1 goal. He's able to do that. So you gotta love him. Houston back to his 72s, a halfback, burn man. He's the burn man. We did say it. Butters inside mid, playing in the midfield, only 67 points. So for all those people who wanted to gamble on Butters, that's a bit unfortunate. He really isn't doing well for you. So
he melted under pressure.
Yeah, all in all, terrible, terrible day for Port Adelaide. It was a party. The party was on for Collingwood, and they're looking to be the real deal. So anyone who wants to get Dacos, who hasn't already, hurry up and do it. And Darcy Cameron, my word, he is really, really presenting himself as a genuine option. So,
yeah, 100%.
All right, that was Collingwood. Next game of the round was none other than. This was a tough game. This was a very entertaining game. Shit got close.
Tough game to watch as a non-Laird owner. I tell you what.
Laird owner.
I faded him. Well, that's it too. I faded Laird. I downgraded Laird, picked up 3 premiums. I was happy until Laird comes out and pops out a 147. Like, the stars aligned for him. He was fantastic, and it was just painful as a non-owner to have. Lockie Scholl stealing some points from Dawson across the back line, across the wing as well. Their defensive setup was really good. Obviously, it didn't hold up in this game. And then Jordan Dawson 110. I mentioned in my team review today kind of how he got a bit of those junk time points. I think he started the last quarter on like 70. Thought it was going to be another Doherty. Ended up getting a 110. I was pretty happy with that. Moving down that list, there's not really anyone else who's really relevant. Max Michelini, some people had him. Darcy Fogarty, no one had him. Mitch Hinge, last year people had him. But really from that Adelaide, they started off really strong. I think they've just got to try and work out a bit more of a let's kick less behinds and then get more goals type of situation. Looking at the stat sheet, though, I think a lot of their behinds were actually Richmond's running the ball through as pressure acts, not necessarily behinds, because they've got 16, but there's not 16 ones there on the board, Joe.
They had 13 of themselves. I just did some quick maths. That's 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, plus 2, 13. So they had 13 behinds. Peddler 02, Tex 2-3, 2-3 and a 97. My word, Tex.
Like Tex last year.
Yeah, Tex is coming back. Yes, he can be racist at times, but you got to respect him as a football player. You know what I mean? Like, you got to take the good and the bad. You know what I mean? Shit human being, great football player. You know, there's got to be some happy medium somewhere. But, you know, it's really exciting if you're a Crom supporter, young, building. They really took it up to Richmond. They didn't wilt. They kept fighting hard, even though Richmond built a very substantial lead. It was over 40 points, and they clawed it back to under a kick, I'm pretty sure, at one stage. So well done to the Croms. I'm not going to talk too much about this guy. For you, Big J, he started in the mid. He had the role that we all expected him to have. He got the scoring that we all hoped he could have. He injured his ankle, though. He kept going with the game.
He looked really bad. Like, it looked like he legit was like, I've done my knee. I'm so annoyed. I'm on like 90 points. Like, okay, 90 points, whatever. He's out for the game. I'll take it. Guy came back on and scored another 30-odd points. Like, get out of here.
It was very nice. Nank is not tanking his score this year for some reason. Nank is doing a very good job. Another 118. And it wasn't like he dominated Rob, because Rob also scored 97 himself with 30 hit-outs to 37. So this is just one of those games where both ruckmen went ape. Liam Baker, some people, maybe a lot of Facebook teams were pretty keen on Liam Baker. I wouldn't go that far, to be honest. I'm not on him. Vlosten, you never go there. Jade Ardo short, another 100 for short, off of 20 touches is not bad. If he was in defense, it could be a different story. But while he's still there in the mids, wouldn't go near him. Taranto, the Butcher King himself, again, 64%. I reckon this guy runs a steakhouse on the side somehow. I don't know. Tim Taranto Steaks or something like that. Not a good dream team to Supercoach ratio, but it's what you expect from him. And other than that,
7 clangers for Taranto. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you expect from him. It really is what you expect from this guy. But you're expecting between a 95 to 105, I think, from Taranto, and he might occasionally have the spike game. One though that a lot of people should be really looking at is one Samson Ryan. Second game, 72 points.
We'll talk about him tomorrow.
He's one that you got to keep an eye on. That was very nice. Tyler Young had his first hit out, only at 34. So what happens when you can't expect much from your key defenders. So that is it. Anything you wanted to talk about from this game?
No, not so much. Taranto kind of continuing on the same as what Rosie did the last game. Around this kind of 90, 95 price is what we're looking for. Maybe they end up getting swapped out at some point. And like you say, Samson Ryan, no one will have him. But the kid looked really clean. They're desperate for someone to bolster up with with Rewalt, with Tom Lynch as kind of a third. CCG had that role a couple of years ago and then got traded. So yeah, it looks really well.
Cool. Next game, the Doggies getting pummeled by the Saints. What an awesome game. Honestly, the Bulldogs are in shambles, Big J. They are doing everything they can to not be finalist.
You see what I was saying about how many people over 100 on the Dogs team versus St Kilda? Tells you a lot about how well, even though they had a couple of guys on bigger scores, you can definitely see the big differential there in how well the team actually played.
That's 100% correct. And Timmy English, if you started English,
I wish. To you. Go make a time machine. Go back and tell Big J, pick Wits and English. These guys are going to average 120, 130 for the first 10 games. Just get them in your team. Oh,
English is killing it. Yeah. And the thing with English, though, I wouldn't be, if you're an English owner or you're don't trade English in. Because he plays for Bevo, and Bevo is straight up a lunatic. He's going to be inventive going into next week's game with the team. You know what inventive means? Big J? Big J, he's going to be inventive. He's already dubbed Magneto by the guys over there at Supercoach inside because he keeps messing around with the magnets, bro. He might have eaten one too many magnets as a kid. I don't know what it is, but something is weird. And he's going to be playing around with the list again. You never know. English scored this well because you just see him resting behind the ball, doing that bloody Max Gorn, intercept marks. What happens next week? He plugs him full forward. You never know. You never know with Bevo.
Who knows, man? Moving down that list, obviously Crozier, a few people had him to start off with. Got injured that round one. I don't think anyone's really got him. Could be a downgrade option in a few weeks, but not for me. Libba, slower game for him. I know some people started him at 550k. Jack McRae, boy oh boy, this guy got fluffed around so much. I think he ended up playing forward for a majority of the time. So I don't think we'll get DPP. It's not 2018 before Jack McRae goes huge, but Bevo's in a bit of trouble. Bailey Dale didn't do very well. Caleb Daniel didn't do well. One that did was Liam Jones. So I've kept him along this week. Backing up his 5 with a 76, so 2-round average of 40. But it's not great, but it is what it is. Josh Bruce, another huge game. So I know a few people had him. Cheeky rookie that a lot of people don't have. 160k is probably, I think he's popped out 270 odd ish scores now. So Ed Richards really hurt a few people as well. I know a couple of people who will not be named had Ed Richards on their team, so too bad for them. You stink. Then Toby McLean, 62. Oscar Baker, 55. He's fine on the bench. It's probably about it for the Dogs, really. What about St Kilda? Talk about our
Rowan,
boy and a few players.
yeah, for sure. But Rowan did everything that we expected him to do. He had a favorable matchup. He's a great ruckman up against English, who himself is not a great ruckman. English definitely helps around the ground. Rowan, 20 disposals, 6 tackles, 29 hitouts. It was a great performance from Rowan. Sinclair back to his last year self. Still, I wouldn't go near him for that price. He's very expensive. He's bound to drop, especially after his poor round 1 score. Brad Crouch, this is the guy who has secretly been the downfall of Jack Steele over the years. And you can see it here again. Once again, the guy has gone very big and one that could be Supercoach relevant. Who knows? Mason Wood, another big score. Mason Wood is really taking advantage of these wins that St Kilda are having. And he's pumping out some massive scores. I still wouldn't go near him. I can't trust. That role isn't the most Supercoach friendly.
No.
You wanted Machito. You were talking to me off the air quite a bit. I want Machito in that forward line.
I called it in the preseason. I was like, Machito Owens, he's going to be sneaky. 250K. Couple of good scores hanging around there. Better than Flanders for around the same price,
Yeah, for sure. He went 3 goals too. He could have scored a lot more had he been more efficient in front of goal. Like, my word. Imagine he had 5, added 2 more goals to that 97. My word, that would have been very impressive. He would have gone over 110. Nazaya unfortunately hasn't hit the scope, the height that we hoped that he would have. We sort of had in mind that he would be getting like 20 kicks a game as opposed to the 15 kicks a game. But he certainly looked better in this game compared to he did in the previous because he actually had some supply. But I moved on him. Do you still have Nazaya?
Yeah, I'm stuck. Somehow Supercoach glitched. It broke and Nazaya was stuck in my team, and then Hopper left my team. So I'm on the call with Herald Sun trying to get that worked out. But for the moment, he's in my team still.
Fair enough. Look, but someone who, if you have him in your team, you gotta keep him stuck there. Because this one Anthony Caminiti, this kid's a star.
Liam Stocker. Liam Stocker, mate.
Stuff him. We're talking about Anthony. It is Anthony's time to shine. Anthony,
right.
You can see who loves you more, Anthony. It's not him. He wants to talk about Stocker.
Oh, man. But, we're happy for Anthony. Did really well, even cementing himself in this position. So the big thing with St Kilda is that they're probably going to run 2 or 3 key forwards. The fact that he's doing so well now means that even when King and Membry are back, they're not forced to come in straight away. Anthony could end up keeping his spot for a majority of the year. This is the kid that came out, played 2 practice matches or 2 practice sessions for St Kilda. They picked him up, done really well, has never played a VFL game in his life, just went straight into the AFL team, AFL practice match, and has now played 2 games. Like, meteoric rise here. I'm not going to talk him up too much because he'll get a big head, but yeah, he's done really well. He knows how much I like him, so yeah.
Yeah, well done, Anthony. We're really, really proud of you, mate.
We can talk
about Stocker now. Yeah, talk about Stocker.
He would have been a good pickup for those guys that faded on Liam Jones, key defender versus like a halfback type player. Liam Stocker came in around the same price, didn't have that 3. I think he's going to jump up like 30, 40K this week. So 2 scores in the 70s is really good. Josh Battle, no one really cares about. Hunter Clark, a few people had. So, he's burnt them. That Supercoach to DT differential is just insane. That comes with, your 6 clangers. So should have come to North Melbourne, mate. You would have had a better game. Mateus Philippou, another person who people have had on field. Didn't burn them too much, but, it's not a 75 or an 80. Wilkie, no one's had. Dan Butler, and then a couple of injuries there. So, yeah, that's really just the game. St Kilda's trudging along. Ross Lyon's doing really well. They love him there at the club. It's scary. They're going to become like a North Melbourne, and they're just going to just demolish everyone. So, yeah, really good game. Especially when you look at a St Kilda team, and it's like, hey, where do their goals come from? Like, they got no real key forwards, and then the young kids are just stepping up. Philippou's stepping up. Caminiti's stepping up. Mitchie Owens is stepping up. That's almost 6 goals. What was that? Eight or 9 goals between 3 kids who won't be
Yeah.
20. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
But if you're a Filippo owner,
You have to
I'd be
keep
a
him.
little bit. You have to keep him. You have to keep him, but you can't be. I don't know. I can understand though if you're nervous about his potential scoring output and money making ability, Chastion, because he scored a 59 with 3 goals, and he might not kick 3 goals every game. So one that you really
Yeah.
have to keep an eye on. And fingers crossed that he comes out good for you. I don't have him personally, but fingers crossed for you. Final
Yeah.
game on the Saturday.
Machito Owens, -31 break even. Keep it in your watch. Yeah.
Ooh, we got a victory here.
I
The West
know. I'm
North
so
Melbourne.
happy. North Melbourne won. You should have seen me run up and down the house. Be like, North Melbourne. Had the song playing. Well, oh, mate, I'm pretty happy.
I'm glad I didn't see that. You would have been waving your shirt around as well. Woo!
Search by Supercoach again.
It's all right. You know who was the top one.
I know. So LDU, mate. A lot of people are really talking about this player now. Really seems to be the cream of the crop. I thought it might have been Warner, but the last 2 games that LDU's had, boy, oh boy, this guy looks like Chris Judd, Gary Ablett, all these people. You ever seen that movie Junior, where Arnold Schwarzenegger's there and they get all the DNA from all the people and it makes like a superhuman? This is what LDU's turning it. It's only 2 games, but this guy looks
It's
fantastic.
2 games and he's likening LDU to Gaz. He's likening
he looks good. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Moving down the list, so Jack Zeeble, get him in your team. We'll do a video featuring him and a few other players, but 356K, playing halfback, 2 scores over 100, looks fantastic. Harry Sheasel, if you don't have him in your team, are you even playing Supercoach at this point? The guy's phenomenal. We'll jump up 100K. Aiden Core, so he was the one as well in that defense that I thought may take some points off the other 3, but seems to have done really well. Todd Goldstein and a few other players there. Ben Cunnington, he's okay. He'll make some money, but there's probably better players that you can downgrade to. Tom Powell, similar position. Probably not the best of the mid-price players there. Josh Goda as well. You can downgrade him to someone else if you really want to. He'll score similar to this, but he's not like the 70s and 80s that you really want from the player. The big thing there is as well is that the ball was in North's defense for basically the quarter as Freo kept coming back and back and back from winning. So that's why all the North defenders did really well versus kind of the key forwards there. So yeah, just something to think about. Off to you and Freo, Joe.
Yeah, Freo, my word. Freo are
they almost won.
Good, are they?
They almost won. It came down to 1 point.
They almost won, but they're no good. They should not have been that far behind. They should not have been behind at all. It just goes to show that the way that they're playing is not beneficial, is not conducive to victory. When you got guys like Cox on 130 and Ryan on 122. It's you can't have 2 defenders be scoring 120 plus every week. It just goes to show that the way they're playing is very defender beneficial, and it's not meant to be that way. If it was a halfback that was scoring those points, okay, it means that you're getting the ball to a halfback who's running and gunning and distributing. But when you got these 2 guys who are deep in defense racking up the ball so much, it just shows that they're not moving the ball fast enough, and they're very happy to have the ball come into the back line and yet not slingshot quick. It's bizarre. The pressure is well and truly on the Dockers.
It's why they've lost 2 games in a row. So it doesn't look good.
2 games that they would have banked in and already claimed. They would have penciled in 2 wins to start the year. One against the Saints, who they were heavy favorites, no forward line, and then against you guys at home. You know what I mean? Like, this is a terrible start. They can't keep playing this way. I would not in full confidence recommend for you guys to bring in any Freo defenders, because something has to change. If they were winning playing this style, then yes, you have the confidence. Why would they change something that's working? But in a situation where they're losing games that they should win, there's no way this can keep up. They have to change it. Andy
I'm not going to
Brayshaw.
talk about him. I'm not going to talk about him, but you can talk about the two guys right at the bottom of that Freo team sheet. I cracked the shits in my team review video about Sean Darcy. But keep going with what you're saying, and I'll let you rip into those for 5 minutes at the end.
No, I'm not going to rip into anybody. I love them. I'm proud of them. Well done, Shrek, my boy. Well done, Darcy. Let us Wits owners be happy with our over 100. Keep it up. Keep it up, son. Don't stop it,
man.
Brayshaw, no, yeah, no, it's all right. I'll let you calm down. Brayshaw, 106. He's not enough for what you pay for. Again, we didn't start him for a reason, I guess, because you now got O'Meara, who's getting a lot of contested ball. Andy Brayshaw's game is too much on the outside. And Brody, 71, that's a really bad performance for him. He just got absolutely smacked by LDU. It is what it is. There's no shame in it. Luke Jackson, 57, with 17 hitouts compared to Darcy's 28. I guess that goes to show the sort of split that was taking place this week was a bit different compared to normal. What did you see? Hayden Young, apparently there's a bandage there. It's because he had a big
he got game tackled a few times and then just stopped playing because he was sad. That was Hayden Young. Sean Darcy was really interesting. Before we kind of head off anyway, Sean Darcy got relegated to majority forward time. Would have been interesting to see the heat map and stuff for him because it really looked like Jackson was in the middle. I think they're missing another tall at Freo. They're still trying to work out what to do with Lob's replacement. I don't think that's Sean Darcy, but even when he was in the ruck, you look at, he got 28 hitouts. I reckon 3 or 4 of those were hitouts to advantage. The way that Hawks were setting up, there was a cool picture. Well, there you go. There was a cool picture that came out. Maybe you can try and find it on Twitter. I think JD might have posted it about Sean Darcy got a hit out. There was like 5 North Melbourne players just standing there. There was no Freo players like on the TV or on the screen that you could see of when Sean Darcy was in the ruck time. So something's got to change. Their midfield's in a lot of trouble. Losing Blake Acres might have ended up being more of a loss than what they thought because there's another contested player. They just can't keep losing these really good players. The thing with like a Richmond, for example, when they were alive, when they were doing really well and winning premierships, losing these type of players, these fringe players was okay because you had the coverage. When you have guys like, all your all your depth players, all your role players leaving a Freo, it was just painful. Look at this, for example, as Joe's put up on the screen, right? Look at that picture. There's Sean Darcy.
Shout out to JD. Sorry, shout out to JD from Fantasy Tech TV for this great picture there.
There's Sean Darcy getting a hit out. Can you guys see any Freo players there? I can't see any Freo. What colour's Freo, Joe?
I don't know. Maybe purple. I think they're purple.
I can't see. The only purple I can see is the Freo logo in the top right-hand corner saying they're losing. That's it. Yeah. I can't even see Sean Darcy's been covered up. So Sean Darcy can win a hit out, but there's no one there to back it up. He doesn't get the scoring chain points. He doesn't get the hit out to advantage points. He doesn't get the ability to run forward and kick a goal and help out the team. This is why Sean Darcy sucked. He's not a terrible player. Yes, he was out of position, but there's no one helping him out. Freo's got a lot of work to do for a team that made finals and did okay last year.
Won a final. They won a final last year.
They're the one that's probably going to get kicked out if they keep playing like this. So something to watch out for. Don't drop Sean Darcy yet, but he's definitely on the watch list for people who, when we start upgrading and we've got a few luxury trades to go, chuck him in the bin.
Yeah. Cool. And that brings our discussion of the Saturday games to a close. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Big J is all over the analytics in terms of how many people who watch our videos are actually subbed. Guys, we've got to get that number down. We need to have everybody watching to be a subscriber. What's wrong? Just press that button. It's free, bro. There's no effort to this.
Yeah, it's not hard, guys. 60% of you guys who watch our videos aren't subbed. That's a lot of people. 60%. I mean, you just passed university if you got a 60. So we're currently passing people not subscribed. Remember, we've got our Supercoach group as well, where you guys can win some amazing prizes. It's not too late. 222976 is the code. I'll put down the information for that in the description below. Any final words, Joe?
No, I got nothing. Stay tuned for the Sunday games to come, as well as our live stream where we'll be talking with Supercoach Mama 7:30 p.m. So, guys, stay around because here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you don't have to. Bye for now.